Good morning, class. How are we?
Good.
Good. I'm so glad. So today we're going to be learning a little bit about something called key details. So our I can statement today that we're going to focus on in ELA is I can figure out the main idea of a story or article and tell how the important key details help explain it. Okay? So our very first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of get into some A-B partners. So partner up. If you need a group of 3, totally okay too. And you can kind of split that how you need. But I want you guys to give one partner A, one partner B. And partner A, you're gonna take the expo markers that are just like placed around the classroom on your desks. And you're gonna be the one to write it on the board, any whiteboard space that you have. And then partner B, you're gonna be the one that shares it with the table, okay? So focus on this. It's a 1-minute story. So I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute to do this. And your question that you're trying to come up with a sentence for is what makes a detail important in a story? So you have your 1-minute sentence, okay? Go ahead and partner up and write that down.
Can I be A or B? I'll be A. Okay.
Nice job, guys.
Should we go over there? Yeah. Okay.
I like that. What do you think is important?
Nice job, guys.
I think that details kind of help us find the main idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice job, guys. And as you're finishing up, go ahead and find your seats again. And then we're gonna have partner B share with the table what you guys came up with, okay? Nice job. All right, partner B, go ahead and share with the table amongst your guys' selves. Go ahead.
I think a key detail helps support the main idea.
Me too. I said details help us find the main idea.
All right, guys, good job. It seems that reading all these around the classroom that we did a really good job. It helps, find and support the main idea, which is the main point of the book. So now we're gonna watch a little video real quick, okay? This, and we're gonna,
That was a great story, Rhea. There was a baby bear with pointy ears, and he had a blue shirt. The girl tried all the pillows, and she ate the bear's breakfast. And there was a green lamp in the room, my favorite color. Hack, slow down. You're saying a lot of specific things from the story, but they don't really describe what happened. When you retell a story, you only need to include the most important things, or the key details. If I'm telling the story of Goldilocks, it's important to know that a girl went into the bear's house. What else is a key detail? Goldilocks ate the bear's porridge. Yes, and we don't have to say that the lamp was green. That doesn't help us understand the whole story. The lamp could be pink, or brown, or polka dotted, and the story wouldn't change. Only the key details. Got it, Rhea?
awesome. So that video is just a good little intro into what key details are. Okay, so now we have a little bit of some practice, okay? So we can get a little bit more. So I'm gonna ask you guys a question or give you an example, and I'm gonna ask you what the key detail is, okay? So our sentence is, the dog ran out of the yard because the gate was open, okay? Now, what helps me understand the main point? Ooh, yes.
I think that one of the main points could be that the gate was left open.
Exactly. Do we see how that key detail is supporting our main idea? All right, now I have one more. The dog has a blue collar. Does that support our main idea?
No.
No, right? So focusing on the key details that do support and that are just extra details. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Now I'm going to ask you to pull out your copy of our book that I was placed in your cubbies, Who Was Rosa Parks? So in this unit, we are going to focus on Rosa Parks. We're going to learn a lot about her. She's a wonderful, wonderful example. How to learn a lot from her. And so we're going to start reading that, okay? So follow along as I read it, all right? So, who was Rosa Parks? Every morning, Rosa Parks walked to school. Every afternoon, she walked back home again. There was no school bus to her school. She didn't mind the walk. She was used to it. Often, she saw a big yellow school bus roll past her, but the bus never stopped for her. All the children inside were white. It was taking them to a school that was for white students only. Rosa was black. Rosa grew up in Pine Level, Alabama. At the time, in the South, black people and white people led separate lives. All of Rosa's friends and family were black. She hardly knew any white people. How could she? Black people weren't allowed in the same restaurants or hotels. They couldn't swim in public pools with white people or drink from the same water fountains. Every time she saw a bus carrying white children to and from school, it made her feel like black children didn't matter as much as white children. Sometimes the white children threw trash out the windows, trying to hit the black children. After a while, Rosa and the other black children stopped walking by the road. They went through fields instead. That's where we're gonna stop for now, okay? So we kind of are getting an introduction into Rosa Parks' life. And it doesn't seem very fair, does it? No, because we're used to where everybody can go to school together, right? We all sit where we want. We all go to school the way we want, right? But it was different back then, okay? Which is kind of a heavy topic, but we're going to go through it together, all right? But in this, we learned a lot. So now, what I'm going to have us do is take a highlighter. Everybody pull one out. Should have one. Great job, friends. Now, I want you to return back to those A and B partners, okay? Now, when you do this, I want you guys to try and find one of those key details. So kind of just like we said, they help us find the main idea, they support the main idea, right? So we only read 3 pages, but there's some pretty big things that were already covered, pretty big topics, right? So with that A and B partner, go ahead and highlight one key detail you found, okay?
I think a key detail is that she walked to school.
That's a good one. I see that it says there was no school bus to her school.
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah. That tells us kind of why she had to walk.
Good job, friends. Awesome, awesome. All right, let's come back together. Now, can I have 2 friends raise their hand and tell me a key detail that you and your partner have found? Yes.
Rosa Parks walked to school.
Exactly. Do we all agree that that's a really important key detail?
Yes.
Exactly. So, Rosa Parks, she walked to school. Now, can I have one more friend tell me? Yes.
It says black people weren't allowed in the same restaurants.
Ooh, isn't that important? Because now from that we can expand to, in our brains, restaurants, hotels, swimming pools, right? So, black people were not allowed to, should we say go to the same places as white people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice job, guys. All right. So now those are 2 key details that you guys were able to identify to help support the main idea. As we read further, we are going to find more key details that are in this book. They're going to teach us about who is Rosa Parks and kind of her life story with that, okay? So now I am gonna ask us to hold up our fingers 1 through 5. We do this kind of a lot, but How are we feeling about finding like the key details of a main idea? Because last unit, if we remember, we already went through the main idea and how that's the big important part of a story, right? Now these are kind of like the things that support it or find it, okay? So one is like, oh my Lanta, I'm not really following this, and that's totally okay. And a 5 is like, I'm a master, I could teach this already. So I'm just gonna have you close your eyes and then go ahead and put your fingers. Awesome, awesome. Go ahead and put those hands down. All right, awesome. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to pull back out our books and we are gonna read pages 4 and 5, okay? All right. So, 4. The school for white children was nicer too. It had real glass panes in the window. At Rosa's school, there was no glass, only shutters. Still, Rosa knew inside that she was as good as any white child. She was as good as anyone, and one day, she would prove it. Now that is an amazing main idea, right? She's gonna prove it, and we're gonna learn that, and that's amazing. So now, this part is called Down on the Farm. Rosa McCauley was born in Tuskegee, Alabama, February 4th of 1913. Her father, James, was a carpenter. Her mother, Leona, was a teacher. Rosa was small for her age. She was often sick with a sore throat, and she had to spend a lot of time in bed. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you guys independently read for a little bit. I want you to finish this little section of the Down to the Farm. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back together in those A and B partners, find some more key ideas, and then we're gonna go from there, okay? How does that sound?
Good.
Does that sound good? Okay, awesome. All right, go ahead and start reading, friends.